I'm news anchor Sally Jensen from News Channel 15, reporting on the 240th anniversary of Patrick Henry's Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death speech. Patrick Henry gave his Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death speech at the St. John's Church in Richmond to the Virginia House of Burgess March 23, 1775, to open their eyes to realize what's actually going on. Patrick Henry was born May 29, 1736. He died June 6, 1799. He was a five-term governor of Virginia, served in the Virginia House of Burgess and Continental Congress. He protested British tyranny. Henry amplified his idea to the point of treason in defending his resolutions against the Stamp Act in the Virginia House of Burgess, May 30, 1765. Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death by Patrick. Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death by Patrick Henry, March 23, 1775. No man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism, as well as the abilities of the very worthy gentleman who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights, and therefore, I hope it will not be thought disrespectful if, as entertaining as I do, opinions of a character very opposite to theirs. I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. For my own part, I consider it nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery. And in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought to be the freedom of the debate. Should I keep back my opinions at such a time? Through fear of giving offense, I should consider myself as guilty of treason and act as disloyalty towards the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, is it natural to man to indulge in the illusions of hope? Is this the part of wise men engaged in a great arduous struggle for liberty? I have but one lamp which my feet are guided, and that is by the lamp of experience. I know of no way of judging the future but by the past. And by judging the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry for the last 10 years to justify these hopes with which gentlemen have been pleased to solace themselves and the House. Is it that insidious smile with which our petition has been lately received? Trust it not, sir. It will prove a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourselves be betrayed with a kiss. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comports with those warlike preparations which cover our waters and darken our land? Are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? Have we shown ourselves so unwillingly to be reconciled that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments which kings resort. What means this martial array, if its purpose be not to first force us to submission? Can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? Has Great Britain any enemy in this quarter of the world to call for all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir, she has none. They are meant for us. They can be meant for no other. They are sent over to bind and rivet upon us those chains with which the British ministry have been so long forging. And what do we have to oppose them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we have been trying that for the last 10 years. Let us not, I beseech you, sir, deceive ourselves. We have done everything that could be done to avert the storm which is now coming on. We have petitioned, we have remonstrated, we have supplicated, and prostrated ourselves before the House, and have implored its interposition to arrest the tyrannical hands of the ministry and Parliament. Our petitions have been slighted. Our remonstrances have produced additional violence and insult, and we have been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne. After these things, may we indulge in the fond hope of peace and reconciliation? There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean not to preserve and violate those inestimable privileges which we have been so long contending, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle which we have been so long engaged, in which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon till the glorious objects of our contest shall be obtained, we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, so unable to cope with so formidable an adversity. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be the next week or the next year? will it be when we are totally disarmed and a British guard shall be stationed in every house? The millions of people armed in holy cause of liberty, and as such a country as which we possess, are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations, who will raise up friends to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It's to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sir, we have no election. If we were base enough to desire it, it is now too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat it, sir, let it come. It is in vain, sir, to accentuate the matter. Gentlemen might cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war has actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why we stand here idle? What is that gentleman wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. Yes, dear.
Hi, I am a reporter for the Vanward Times Bulletin, and I was wondering, what are the key points of Patrick Henry's speech?
Members in the House of Burgess were split on Patrick Henry's speech. Half agreed and half disagreed. Patrick Henry did not necessarily want to fight. The British had already made this decision for them. Britain is already in the process of beginning conflict. He believes that the only way to protect true rights of Englishmen is to prepare them to defend themselves. Patrick Henry is trying to get the House of Burgess to realize that there is no reconciliation between the British and the colonists. He says that they have done everything that could be done to avert the storm which is now coming on. They have petitioned, remonstrated, supplicated, and prostrated before the throne. Nothing has worked. After these things he tells them that they can no longer indulge in the fond hope of peace and reconciliation. If they mean to preserve their rights, they must fight. Yes, you.
Hi, I'm a reporter for the New York Times, and I was pondering on the question, what does the document mean back then and today?
Back then, the document meant that there was no longer any room for hope of peace and reconciliation. Their cards had already been dealt. They had no other choice. Today, there is freedom, and there is a democracy. Yes, you.
Hi, I am also a reporter from the Virginia Times Bulletin, and I was puzzling over, why is this document so important?
It is a wake-up call to those in the Virginia House of Burgess. Those who did not believe were still in denial. Yes, you.
Hi, I'm a reporter from the Arizona Republic, and I was speculating about what are the consequences of this document.
It was a wake-up call to those in the Virginia House of Burgess. They realized that there is no hope in peace or reconciliation. If they wish to be free to protect their rights, they must fight. And that is it with our segment over the 240th anniversary of Patrick Henry's speech, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. See us next week on News Channel 15 when we cover the Crestview Knights on their road to victory.
Questions or comments for Lauren about Patrick Henry's speech? Lauren, did you enjoy this presentation?
I loved Patrick Henry's speech. It was like so powerful. I just felt like so pleased to be able to do this presentation.
Let me ask you, you used technology and contemporary reporting as a way to get a lot of your main points and your context across, and I thought that was really creative. How do you think things might have been different if, say, we could have recorded you, or recorded Patrick Henry, in 1775, and had that maybe streaming online for the King and Parliament? Do you think that would have changed anything, or affected emotions or plans of action at all?
Can you repeat the question?
If we really were able to have a live news coverage of something from 1775 and use our technology then, to help with communication. Do you think that would have changed anything or influenced things differently?
It would have influenced how the other colonists would have felt. It would have been spread worldwide.
And I know you and I talked a little bit about, this just being something that happened in the Virginia House of Burgesses, but this is also a debate that was taking place in a large number of the other colonies, particularly Massachusetts, where you talked about the plains of Boston already being affected by troops. Good. Any other questions or comments for Lauren? Robert?
How many members were in the Virginia House of Burgess when he gave this speech?
It never really said. When I came across my research.
I might be mistaken, but I know that one of my favorites was in the crowd that day, I believe. Either that day or the Stamp Act Day in '65, one of the two. TJ was there.
I came across another speech that he had read during the Stamp Act Congress.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's give Lauren a round of applause.